Welcome back to a new episode of George Manz Coins on YouTube. I'm Terry Massey. This is George Manz. Thank you for the comments and everybody who has subscribed to the channel lately. This is part 2 of an episode that we had done previously on a very interesting time in the Bank of Canada, and just some royalty changes in England and how it affected the notes that we're going to do it on. And so, George, we're here with the 1935 dollars, and this is higher currency than we did in episode 1. So this is part 2 of that, and this is the higher currency. So what do we have today?
Okay, we have $10 denominations that depict Princess Mary, the King George V's eldest daughter. These notes were made both in English and in French, Bank of Canada, Bank du Canada. And they made a lot more English than they made French, so the French are generally much more expensive than the English.
And probably harder to find as a result of the lower circulation of those as well.
Then we're going to deal with the $20, and this depicts Princess Elizabeth, who is now our queen, when she was a young child. Again, there are actually three different ones. The most common of the $20 notes is the small seal, and then there's a more expensive large seal. Both of them are in English, and the French again was only issued in
it appears to be a small seal. Though it's still and maybe it's just visual on my part that this seal looks just a little bit bigger than that, but it also could be the placing of the lettering and the number on them that makes it appear that way, because you can see, you'll see how the difference of the seal is between the two in the placing of the lettering, because that wouldn't have changed when it went from plate to plate, because they're in the exact same position as you've seen it. So just to remind folks too, if they haven't seen part 1 of this, what is the significance of the 35 series when it comes to Bank of Canada?
Okay, the Bank of Canada was founded in 1935, and they decided that in less than 10 years that they would be the only institution that would be allowed to issue money. And this was the first money that they issued. And they gave the banks no more than 10 years to stop making money. So they made, certain banks made money in 36 or 37 or 38, and the last one was in the early 40s.
So this would have been banks like that we've heard about and we've mentioned in previous episodes,
like
the Bank of Weyburn and
they
Imperial.
were done way before. They were done way before.
Banks like that are the Imperial Commerce Bank and all those the banks. This became the de facto currency issuer in Canada, and a 10-year window for them to cease and desist. It was also a tumultuous time when it comes, as mentioned earlier, when it came to the royalty who are featured prominently on these notes.
So in 1935, King George V was celebrating his 25th anniversary of being king. And because he was an old man, they decided that now is a good time to make new money, and since it's the 25th anniversary. And he died less than a year later in January 1936. So, and the new money that was issued in 1937, they decided that because they were making new money in 37, that they would recall all the 1935 and older money. So a lot of it was recalled. So very few of the 1935 issued notes still exist. A very small number compared to, and consequently they're quite expensive.
So when they get recalled, what's the process with the Bank of Canada?
Well, the bank takes them. Any bank that you deal with will take them, and they send them to the Bank of Canada, where they destroy them. They will shred them and then burn them.
I thought that would be the process. I just wanted to clarify it and make sure. And then also to the new monarch resigned shortly thereafter, right?
Right.
And to marry a U.S. widower,
right? Which
then still more till we hit the Elizabeth reign, which has now been going on, it seems, forever.
Right. And since 1952, she was
Is there anything else we should know about these?
No, looking forward to part 3.
And in part 3, we're gonna look at the 50s and
hundreds.
and hundreds of these. Okay, perfect. Thanks for joining me today, George.
Thank you.